Welcome back to another episode from Natalie at Right Click Sale. I'm going to talk to you about how you can get 40% plus open rates. Before we dive in, a little bit about myself. I have been doing this for well over 15 years. I've seen it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly of email marketing. And today I'm sharing all my secrets with you. Take them and use them for yourself for free. Let's get started. How do I get 40% plus open rates for my clients and also for myself? And the answer is it starts like well before the subject line. Step back a little bit. You need three things in order to make those subject lines sing, in order to get the results that you deserve. The first one is the right audience. This means that you have an audience that's cleaned. Therefore, you have got rid of your unsubscribes, you've got rid of your bounces and your undeliverables. Now, if you have a cleaned audience, if you keep it up to date and fresh, that means that Google and Yahoo and Microsoft and Apple and all the other providers go, hang on a second, they're keeping things good, they're not getting spam complaints, they're getting decent responses. So it's really, really vitally important. If you want to have good results, you have to have a good target audience. Rubbish in, rubbish out, good stuff in, good stuff out. Pay attention to that. So the next thing on your list to get 40% plus is going to be the right type of audience. So it's not enough just to have a clean list, you want an engaged list. And after that, there'll be small subsegments of people that will be interested in very specific messages from you. So let's say that you are a hairdresser. Even in the hairdresser's world, you're going to have a number of different things, a number of different clients. So you've got people that come in every 6 weeks because they want to have their hair done and they want to have a new hair colour. You have people that come up on one-off occasions for birthdays, for Christmas. You know who they are because they booked big and spent and they want their hair done in special updos, they want some messy braids. They're not going to be interested in every 6 weeks permatan. Then you have the people that do want highlights as well, that they are going to want the special design, they want the cuts, and they might only come in once every 3 months. So you can see now that you've already got 2 or 3 segments, and that's just for the ladies. For the men's, of course, that's a whole different ballgame. And a stylist, you might also be offering other things. You might do nails, you might do some, you might do back massages. Beauty salons these days often append themselves to hairdressers. Huge range of services and a huge different number of interests just from a very simple email list. So what do you do? In this case, what you'd want to do is decide, right, today I want set booking ahead for the summer to make sure that I've got clients in. My best-selling product is obviously getting the colours done. So you know that every 6 weeks people are going to want that. So you've got two options. The first one is you can say every 6 weeks from the time someone has last booked a colouring with me, I'll send them a reminder. That'd be smart rule number one. Smart rule number two is to say everyone who, for example, had an umbrage, that is a half and half hair, or someone who's tried something different, you could send them an offer. You can say, we noticed last time that you really enjoyed your colouring with us. Would you like to book again and maybe get 10% off? Or book again and we will give you a free colour matching session. So that could be a very good way forward for you. So you can easily pick out those details from there. Worst comes to worst, just go through manually into your books and see who picked out what and say the past year. It won't take too long. You can see where the variations come in, and it's really important. Your best data will never be on your database. It'll be from your CRM. Your CRM is integrated your finance. If you use Xero, FreshBooks, what have you, whatever you choose to use, happy days. Because the one thing every company keeps up to date is their bookkeeping. So worst comes to worst, always go back there to see what your customers are doing and saying. Now, you could be saying to me, hang on, Natalie, I've got a fairly fresh audience here and haven't bought much from me. How do I segment that? The answer is that you go back and look at the sources. What were they interested in? Why did they sign up to you? You'll almost certainly have that. It could be from Facebook groups, it could be from people that came in via a landing page, people you talk to at events. If you make a note of the source and you've got a good idea of what you talk to them about, because it tends to be narrow range things, then you have a good idea of where they're interested. Incidentally, this is where tagging comes in as well. But it could be that you're just like, Natalie, I just want to send this email out and get a really good response. I don't have that info, I don't have the time to collect it. At which point I'm going to say, okay, in which case what you need to do is as follows. Firstly, if you've got any audience data at all, use it. If you know who opened last time, great. They've got some interest and they remember you. People that never opened at all, you're going to have to do a different strategy for them. because for all you know, it's going into the junk file. So let's assume that you're going for all the openers, people are interested, you know from the source, if you're lucky, that they were interested in this product, or you know that at this point in their journey. Now, the customer journey, for those that don't know, goes from someone who's completely unaware they have a problem through to someone who knows that you are the solution to their problem. Let's say that you've got brittle nails. You go from thinking, oh yeah, everyone's got brittle nails, to I have a specific problem about nails. Okay, I know that this product, let's say that Nail Strength will sort it for me. They've done the research. Finally, look at you. You could be someone they talk to locally. It could be an advert they saw about you, or it could be a recommendation, and be like, okay, that Sally has a nail strengthener and she knows how to apply it, and she'll teach me how to apply it. I want Sally. Okay, so you can see that's an entire sequence very quickly on brittle nails. And you can do the same for any product or service. If you're a coach, obviously it could be hypnotherapy, it could be coaching, it could be how to write your CV. But it's exactly the same way that you do customer journey time. So when you write to people in email, think about where they are in their journey. Like you, for email opt-ins, generally the know like trust has been sorted already. They're aware they've got a problem, you can solve it. Your job now is to sell to them. They want you to sell to them. They want the stuff, they want the knowledge, they want the information. So going back to what I was saying about the right audience. So just to recap, you have a cleaned opt-in audience. You have selected the sub-segment for that specific problem or product, and everyone has sub-segments in their business. I don't care how, take the simplest online search you can imagine, financial services, because it's just about moving money. They'll have a list of subjects and sub-problems, and you go into the right one. It could be loan, it could be a credit card, and even the credit cards will be subdivided according to what people want. Then going back to it, you've got your sub-segment, you've got your problem. The final thing you've got now to think about is the topic. How are you going to approach it? So the right audience. The next one is the right topic. What are you trying to sell them, and where are they? So someone, for example, who hasn't got a lot of money but really, really wants that deal of yours, you'll be able to say to them, okay, we can see you've opened in the past, but you didn't click. Was it because you have a problem with cash flow? If so, what happens if we split this up into several payments with a recliner? Alternatively, it could be someone who went, I'm not sure. I like you, be right. Okay, you need some more proof. You need more trust. Here's a case. So these are the subdivisions, and it's worth testing your emails alone for that, because that will get you more information, which means you're more likely to be able to talk to them, which means less blockers, more profit, more sales. But this goes back again to the email, because we're getting into the weeds here. So let's zoom out again. Product, you know the subset of audience. And what you now need to do is target them with the right offer, right audience, the right promise. And this is the way that you present it. You're going to start with the end in mind. What is the result? So going back to our coach and transformation, coaches in some way absolutely love selling for them, because coaching is all about transformation. It's all about lifestyles. Let's say that you are a gym coach, and the thing you offer a lifestyle weight loss program that allows them to do what they need to. So in this case, from your gym coach, be 30 minutes a day, healthy eating plan, don't think about it, just do it. And you're aiming this at, say, the target segment of men that don't have a lot of time, don't necessarily want to spend tons upon supplements, drugs, and definitely don't want to do the protein shakes. They want just quick health done easily, which doesn't take them long, and they want to look good for summer. There you go. There's your transformation. Look good for summer in 30 minutes a day in the next 3 months. Perfect. Now you've got your promise, you've got your transformation. You're going to go and write your hooks. Hooks are the things which take people like a breadcrumb trail to your final offer. That is your landing page or your website or even the checkout page. It's totally up to you how you do this. It's a breadcrumb trail, and you can't assume just because they've heard about and talked to you before that they're going to remember it. Always assume every single time that it's a fresh interaction with the email, because so much comes in on a daily basis to your customers and clients' minds. You bombarded with information and advertisement. You can look at up to between 50 and 100 emails coming in, scrolling through easily 200 posts at a time, and average, I think, once every 30 seconds in the UK, which is scary. So, looking at your promise, the way you run an email to make sure you get a 40% plus open rate is the right promise at the right time. So the audience helps one heck of a lot. I can't emphasize this enough. Get the audience right and most of the other things fall into place. But you would need to test and read emails sequence very fairly. And you just this way. And it sounds like a lot of work, but I promise you. So the three things that are working really well at the moment for email subject lines is personalization, such as first name, urgency, such as you've only got 24 hours to get this in, or quickly, you've only got 2 months left to claim your free beach body. Obviously, we're not suggesting that we're going to go and steal the designer bodies and give them to people, but you get the idea. Urgency opens, but it can't be fake urgency. People see through that in a hot second, and they'll never come back to you again. So make sure it's something that you know you can deliver and genuinely urgent. Okay. If you can't do urgency, do intrigue, do surprise, do mystery. Because the third thing which is working well today is things that involve humour, that entertain people. When people scroll down an email, when people scroll down their inbox, they're looking at who it's from, what the subject line is, and what the preview line is, and asking what's in it for me. Is there a reason to open? Do I trust this person? That's what gets you to open. That's what gets you to the click. Because it's not enough just to open an email. I'm here to make sales. So start with the end in mind. People scan for the subject line. When they open the email, scan for the title. If you're not doing titles, if you have what's known as a naked email, you need to make sure that top line, when they open, is the first one read. That's your title line. It's got to grab them. And then they go down the F shape, and at the bottom they scan again, and they're looking for the call to action. Every single time. You finally get a second bite from cherry with your PS, which comes underneath the subject line, because again, we're trained to look at that. So it's really, really important that when you write your subject lines, you do that at the end. You start with your call to action, you decide what your title is, what the content is, then finally you do the subject line. So everything is like bang, bang, straight in place like train tracks. You want to lead them on a journey, and you don't want them getting off or getting confused at any second. Okay, that's 13 minutes of me ranting on about open rates, and you're probably thinking, oh God, Natalie, so much to think about. Really, can you just write this for me? Well, the answer is yes, actually, I can. I'm going to do it with you in 5 minutes flat. I can do it for anybody, and I'll do it for a bargain price of £7, thanks to my promise to pay off AI Wizard. It takes you through the exact steps I've been talking about now, very quickly. You write it down, and it comes back with either copyright that you can hand over to someone. You can actually chat GPT to it if you want to, but I strongly suggest it yourself. And finally, you can do it yourself because 90% of it's there for you. So you get sound human without selling your soul, and you never start again with that blank page syndrome. It's done for you. Bang, bang, bang. Literally, it will give you 5 different subject lines based on what you tell it. It will give you your titles. It will give you the entire brief, so you can rewrite that. It will even give you your PS line, which gives yourself the second bite of the cherry. And it's available today, right now, for you. Go and have a look at it. Have a look at my other videos, and I'm here to answer any questions. Just drop me a comment underneath. Bye.